And at this point, my child wasn't sleeping. He was in the hospital screaming. He was undiagnosed for the first 48 hours. And even when he was, it was a big challenge. So my focus was on how much medication he's getting, making sure he's getting it at the right time, keeping the nurses on their toes, making sure that my fiance was keeping sane and rested and her mental health was good, and then trying to take care of my own as well. So we had no headspace, no mental headspace to think about coronavirus. And even if it was present, I don't think we would have. It still wouldn't have been a priority.
Yeah.
Because we had to
Get through that first.
Kawasaki first. We had to make sure we got him through.
Yeah,
we were surrounded by children who, unfortunately, they'd been diagnosed too late.
Yeah.
And they were having open heart surgeries.
Serious?
Yeah. And none of these children were even 6-7 months old.
Serious? I didn't even know that.
So we were surrounded by kids that were really, really ill.
Yeah.
Because of the exact same illness.
Yeah.
Which, selfishly, to be honest, it calmed us down a little bit, because as much as we were terrified of what was happening, all the different symptoms, the rashes, swollen tongue, the inflamed veins, he wasn't as ill as any of the children around us. So we still had that, gave us hope that even though this may seem bad, we must have caught it at an early stage.
Yeah, maybe.
So Corona was just not. It wasn't important at the time. It wasn't imperative to even think about. It was imperative to look after our son and to make sure he recovered. And that we recovered, because we were just totally shattered. We were shattered.
Yeah.
I think I remember the only piece of television I watched was about 3:30 in the morning, when I was in the breastfeeding room, helping my son get to sleep.
Uh-huh.
And the NFL Super Bowl was on. So I think I watched about 20 minutes of that.
Yeah.
So again, I wasn't really talking to anyone. We were locked from the outside world. We weren't really communicating with people on the outside, and we didn't have time to look at our phones.
Yeah.
To think about Corona. So we were going for our own pandemic. We were going for our own crisis. Our family was in crisis. Our child was in crisis. It was the initial stages were fine. It was only we came back home, took like a week off, because we had to just sleep, we had to rest. We hadn't slept.
Uh-huh.
We just hadn't slept, and it was over that time that then the news started to mention Europe and Italy in particular.
Yeah.
That had really been hit hard.
I think hard. For me, that was when it was hang on a sec, Italy, they were crumbling, and their death toll was mad. So that's when I started to wake up a bit myself. I was thinking yo, hang on a sec, Italy's around the corner. So if Italy's crumbling like this, and for me, it was yo, we've got Boris in charge, so Italy's crumbling and we're not locked down yet. Mm-hmm. So in my head, that was all that was going. I was thinking, we need to be locked down now, and this lockdown does seem to take forever to happen.
It did. No, you're right. Lockdown did take forever to happen, and to a certain extent, it still hasn't happened.
It still hasn't happened. A lot of people ain't been locked down.
Exactly. We're almost at 50,000 people that have passed now, and still letting people into our borders. We're flying Romanian citizens in to help farm.
Yeah.
Other countries are not doing that.
It's ridiculous.
They're bringing in certain necessary personnel to help them overcome certain issues, whether it is food security or whether it is health, whether it is fighting corona.
Yeah.
But we've got a population that can help do that.